Time for Buy Now Sell Now Pathshala, and like always we have Kunal Bothra joining with us live onto the studios. And Kunal, we understand that today you're going to be talking about bearish engulfing. So I wanted to ask that, is it because you're changing your stance or you're turning bearish on the markets on the back of the recent sell-off, or it is purely for the learning purpose?
It's just sheer coincidence, I'll say, Shrishti, because last week we were discussing bullish engulfing and the markets were jumping with a lot of enthusiasm. And today when I selected the topic of bearish engulfing, unfortunately, the markets are showing some negative tick for themselves. But the idea for bearish engulfing is also very important, because when stocks go into kind of reversals, it's very important to accept that the stocks have changed their trends for themselves. So there are two examples which I would want to showcase for bearish engulfing, exactly opposite of what a bullish engulfing is. Bearish engulfings are patterns which generally indicate that the selling for the stock has started off, or the supply for the stock price has managed to oversee the demand for the stocks. So this is a classic case over here for Federal Bank. Start of 2023, end of 2022, when the stock was actually going into a very strong uptrend. So as you can see that this was a point where the bullish engulfing pattern was formed for Federal Bank. The stock went into an upward trend, and surprisingly at the fag end of this price uptrend closer to 140 mark is where you saw bearish engulfing being formed. So the negative candlestick pattern over here manages to engulf the body of the entire previous candle, and you saw a sharp reversal coming back into Federal Bank, even if it's a short-term chart, but it has a magnitude of almost 8 to 9% on the stock price. This was a much more bigger candlestick pattern formed for Federal Bank, and when the stock formed a bearish engulfing pattern over here, you saw a slight higher degree of downtrend coming into the stock price. So a smaller body or a small engulfing pattern leads into a small correction, and a slightly bigger one results into a major correction for the stock prices. We'll see one more example in this effect. For the stock Bajaj Finance, again a very similar kind of a chart pattern. When the stock formed a bearish engulfing pattern over here, it managed to engulf the previous body of the body of the previous candle. And look at the price action post that, from 7,900, 8,000 odd mark, the stock saw sharp selling pressure coming into a zone. So even after such a kind of a candlestick day, it is always prudent enough to accept that maybe the near-term trends have reversed for the stock price, and unless the stock closes above the previous high or the candle high, it's going to be a futile exercise to try and just expect that the stock would gain to a bounce. So this is a clear indication of a change of trend, bearish engulfing patterns for short-term trades.
Alright, so that is the latest that we've learned today on BNSN Pathshala, that is bearish engulfing. Thank you so much, Kunal, for teaching us something new once again this Friday. But on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now.